Hello and welcome to yet another episode of the Reverse Sweep Show. Uh, it's time for Champions Trophy. It's coming closer, but we are looking into a lot of ODIs that are happening all around the world. So, AB, what have you been up to? Have you been following the Tri Series, the India-England series? Hell lot of ODIs happening. Sri Lanka playing a two-match series versus Australia. What have you been up to?
Yeah, SS been busy with work and it's been a bit hectic that side of life. So not been able to follow a lot of cricket, but definitely followed a bit of India versus England ODI series. That was an interesting series and some good performances from the Indian team. Shubman Gill scoring runs up the order as usual. Shreyas Iyer coming into form again, and plus the bowling attack also looking decent. I wouldn't say very good, and plus the Bumrah vacuum is showing up. But still, looking forward to the Champions Trophy and how the Indian team performs there. I think my personal sense is we still walk into the tournament as favorites. Bumrah missing out will be a big hit, but still, how Rohit Sharma is playing at the top of the order, it feels like we are back in 2023. Hopefully, we have a good finish to the tournament this time around. So yeah, that's about it from my side of things. That is what I've been up to. What about USS? What have you been up to? What cricket have you been following?
Yeah, in terms of watching the games as they are happening, of course, it was India and England. India going in with a three spin attack that is bound to go into UAE as well. I think they are preempting the fact that it's late season over there and ILT20 games have also been a bit low scoring, at least the initial ones were. So yeah, it seems that India's chips are very clear. They're going with five spinners in the squad as well. So also just trying to absorb all the preview content that's out there. Australia has a lot of injuries. Sri Lanka made the best use of it. We also had a tri series for once happening in ODI cricket. That was really fun to follow, at least watched the long highlights that were posted on YouTube. But we are not a preview podcast. We delve into hypotheticals and what ifs. And we thought to do some content around the Champions Trophy, which has been waiting for 8 years. Pakistan has been champion since 2017. So now finally they are going to play Champions Trophy at home, at least partly, with India not playing their games in UAE. So we thought to do some content, especially focusing on 2025. And AB, for the listeners, what exactly is the topic all about?
Yeah, so as you said, we're going to talk about Champions Trophy. So we have eight teams and a lot of superstars across those eight teams. So what we thought of doing today is creating our own hypothetical 11 from the squads that have been released. So all the squads have been finalized. We know which are the players who will be featuring in this tournament, and then we go about it how we create any hypothetical 11 on this show. We form the best combination that we think we can create from these eight squads of players.
Hmm. Yeah, I think this will be quite an interesting exercise. Trying to form a combined 11, lot of great picks out there. We have to keep the conditions in mind. Uh, and there is some unavailability of players, at least from Australia, some big names missing. And ODI cricket, when it falls under like the middle of the World Cup cycle, you are bound to get some new names. I was looking at the New Zealand bowling attack. A lot of, let's say, new names. We have moved on from the bold Saudi Jamieson era. Even Matt Henry wasn't playing in the final of the Tri Series. So I think this will be quite an interesting exercise. I will expect some surprises in our teams as well, which will be a testament that the times are changing. New players are going to come to the fore. Some old favorites might miss in our teams as well, but some might make the cut. So really interested in how your team is looking like. And so let's start straight away. AB, I will pass to you to make your picks for the openers. And yeah, do let us know how your thinking was around it.
Yeah. When I look at the opening slot, I want to be able to maximize on the fielding restrictions out there. And given how limited overs cricket has evolved, I want absolute firepower at the top. So I was evaluating a lot of different players, but I go with Rohit Sharma at top as my first opener, given how the kind of starts that he gave us in the 23 World Cup, and also saw him coming into his own in one of the ODIs versus England and scoring that quick fire century. So I'm hopeful about Rohit Sharma and his performance in the tournament after a lackluster test season for him. I really hope that he performs well in this Champions Trophy. So he is one of my openers who I want that he gives a very good start, a quick start to the team. Then for the second opener, of course, one of the biggest contenders for that spot was Shubman Gill. I think he's tailor made for ODIs, and the kind of performances that he has been giving out time and again, he makes a strong case. But then I also was evaluating a few other players, and I went the English way. I went towards Phil Salt because I want to have firepower from both the ends at the opening slot, and I want only one anchor in my entire team, entire batting order. So I'll talk about him in the next positions. But then my opening slots are Rohit Sharma and Phil Salt, and Shubman Gill misses out. What about you, SS? Who are your openers?
That's a big call, getting Rohit in and not Gill. But yeah, I value the reasons. There might be a recency bias as well, looking at that fabulous century he scored versus England. But I think we showed it in 2023 World Cup as well, that how the new Rohit 2.0 in ODI cricket, just going full intent and giving those fast starts, can be so helpful for the team. Phil Sort is not something that was on my radar. So very interesting pick. When I looked at it, I had the same names under consideration. I also looked at Babar Azam because the World Cup is happening in Pakistan. So the Champions Trophy is happening in Pakistan, and is now opening for them. And he always looks good on the eye, and especially on those wickets, he might do well. But I don't think he's right at the top of his game. So I am going with Shubman Gill just because of what he achieved in 2023. That was amazing. We talked about in the hot takes as well. He nearly broke Sachin's aggregate runs in a calendar year in ODI cricket record, and he looked really good in the England series as well. And I think he's going to be the only contender for 10,000 runs the way he's going right now. I think the ODI format suits him a bit. The only thing that I would worry about are sticky wickets if they happen in UAE. I still feel he's a guy who likes true bounce. If the pitches are totally flat, if they are sticky and difficult to come on the bat, I mean, any batter struggles, but I think, struggles a little bit more than the other elite batters. But if he gets a good start, I think he can make a lot of runs. I will go with Shubman Gill as my first opener. I'm not completely bought into the Rohit Sharma back into the form thing. It's a difficult one, but I feel that Shubman Gill can give me more consistency than Rohit Sharma can. And second, I'm going with someone who trumped both of these guys in a way in the biggest moments. And for him, statistics don't matter. His intent matters. He might get out cheaply, but when the big games come and when you really want those fast runs to just take the momentum away, Travis Head is your man. He has shown time and again. I think there's no point questioning his statistics, his technique. Uh, the pitches are not going to be seam friendly, most likely. I think he can do really well. People know that they can attack his middle stump, leg stump, but he still makes runs. People tried attacking him short ball, he still makes runs, and he makes runs at the biggest of moments. And he gives me the left and right combination as well. And I think Travis Head will open, I feel, with Matthew Short for Australia. So I'm going to pick him as my opener alongside Shubman Gill. And I think I'm quite happy with my opening picks.
That's an interesting pick, SS. Shubman Gill, I could anticipate that you'll pick him. I mean, he's a very strong contender for that opening slot. Travis Head is, I feel, a bit of an experiment, but I'm pretty sure, given how he plays, he'll add value to any particular position that he plays in. So,
And I think if
but
Australia has to do well, Travis Head has to do well because they are lacking a bit in the bowling. And even the middle order looks a bit flimsy. They have got a couple of anchors on their side, Labuschagne and Smith. So I think Head, I expect a big tournament. So yeah, those were my openers. Let's come to the middle order, 3, 4, 5. I mean, we will have a gamut of options, AB. What are those options and who were your finalized 3, 4, 5 then?
yeah, absolutely. As you rightly put, so many options to pick in those slots. Talking first about number three, the options that I was considering are Virat Kohli, Joe Root, and Kane Williamson. Fabulous batters, all of them. But when we talk about ODI cricket, then nobody comes close to Virat Kohli, right? He's one of the best ODI batters of the recent times. And for those reasons, I go with Virat Kohli. Nothing against Joe Root and Kane Williamson, but I just feel Kohli, when in form, is a bit better than everyone else out there. And plus, he gives me that anchor position at number three. He can anchor the innings, can uh, perfectly set up a chase if required, can help set up a big score, and other batters can really bat around him. And as I told you, I want to have absolute firepower, and everyone bats around Kohli then. So Virat Kohli is my number three, and Joe Root and Kane Williamson, they miss out. Number four, the options for me were Harry Brook, Tristan Stubbs, and Travis Head, and I go with Travis Head at number four for pretty much the similar reasons as you talked about. You don't care about statistics, you don't care about the form when you talk about Travis Head because he's a big match player. He has that knack of performing at the biggest stage and has the knack of winning your games. So I definitely want to have Travis Head, and I want to pick him at number four with Harry Brook and Tristan Stubbs missing out. And again, like Harry Brook and Tristan Stubbs, I would have been very happy to have them in my team as well. But because we are spoiled for choice, I go with Travis Head. Number five, again, a lot of options that I was considering. Some of the players were Joss Butler, David Miller, Mohammad Rizwan, with the kind of form that he has shown and the ability in setting up chases in the recent matches, and then Heinrich Klaassen. And out of all of them, I was pretty much split between Joss Butler and Heinrich Klaassen. Joss Butler has to be one of the best English limited overs cricketer in the recent times, and very hard to leave him out. But I feel Heinrich Klaassen, with the kind of form that he is in, with the kind of ability that he has, is an X factor in my team. So I go with Heinrich Klaassen over Joss Butler, David Miller, and Rizwan. So those are my numbers three, four, and five. What about you, SS? What's your middle order?
I think some really interesting picks. Travis Head in middle order in Asian conditions. I'm not sure against spin, but I believe that the value he brings, and you can always bring him top of the order as well. So I think I am firmly in the Travis Head camp. Kohli, I think no debate over there as well. Klaassen is a very interesting pick, but he made a lot of runs in the recent ODIs as well. I think he had stellar outing against New Zealand as well as in Pakistan. So yeah, really good picks. On my side, number three is also Virat Kohli. I mean, this is the format in which he has always thrived. He is like arguably the greatest ever in ODI format. If he plays long enough, there is no issue with his strike rate. And with enough firepower in this team around him, he doesn't need to worry about that. I think he paces ODIs like as a number three, like no other in history has ever done. So, and he showed in the recent game as well when he made a 54, I think, or 56 or something. I think he was looking good. And he always looks good. He doesn't look out of form in ODIs ever. In 2023 World Cup, he was amazing as well. So, I don't have any qualms of not picking Virat. I think not picking him would be something of a big surprise for anyone. So it's not only a safe pick, but also a valid pick, I think, Virat Kohli at three. Four, I was split. I was thinking of Mohammad Rizwan at four as well. I think some recency bias also creeping, but I like him as a batter. I think in all format, I think he's right now the best Pakistan batter. Stupendous big partnership against South Africa, 131. That was his highest score ever. I was looking at his overall record now. His average now is 42 as well. So the strike rate is around 88 because I think he could be a bit better there, but he brings wicket keeping ability as well, leadership as well. So it's really good. You talked about Brook, but I haven't seen a lot of him in Asian conditions. So I went with Shreyas Iyer actually. He had an amazing World Cup. He has an excellent domestic season. I think there have been talks that now he's getting better on the short pitch bowling as well, even though that might not be such of a trouble in UAE. He has an average of 48 in one day cricket and a strike rate of above 100 now. He had an amazing World Cup, as I already mentioned. I think he's in form. Uh, and he bashes spin as well. I think he's a really good batter against spin. Comes down the track, hits those long sixes, rotates the strike well. In these conditions, I think Shreyas Iyer will be really good. So, an India heavy middle order for me till now, 3, 4. 5, I was split between, as I said, Rizwan at 4 or 5 and Klaasen as well. But I go with Butler. I think he looks always really good. Looked good in the T20s as well against India. Has a wealth of experience, plays all around the world, uh, and can also give you a wicket-keeping option, even though he doesn't now keep for England just because of his workload management. But I think Butler can be a good wicket-keeping option as well. So Kohli, Iyer, and Butler are my 3, 4, and 5.
That's a fairly strong middle order SS, and Shreyas Iyer, I feel, is one of the most underrated middle order batters going around in the world right now. Specifically, given how he comes in and out of the Indian side, but definitely in the ODI format, he has to be one of the most consistent number fours. So, got to give it to you for that. And Josh Butler again walks into any side on most days. So, yeah, that's a
Would
fairly
you say
strong.
that Josh Butler will go down as the greatest white ball cricketer for England?
It will be a close call between Joss Butler and Owen Morgan. Morgan won them the World Cup and kind of set up the entire template behind which they went on to win it. So,
Mm,
if anything, then Owen Morgan currently trumps Butler in that department
mm,
because Butler primarily followed the template that Morgan set up.
mm.
But yeah, when it comes to pure batting skills, then probably Butler is an inch ahead of Morgan. But let's see,
Interesting.
Butler still has a few years ahead of him. What about USS? What's your take on that? Since you put me on the spot and asked me that question.
Yeah, we digressed a bit, but yeah, I think it was a fun question to ask because I mean, automatically the names come will be of the 2000s and 2010s because England were pretty ordinary ODI outfit before that. I mean, overall, if you think it could be a Flintoff, a Peterson, somebody of the 2019 team, um, I think Morgan is a really good shout. Um, But I think in the overall contribution, if you look at white ball and T20, both T20 and ODI, I think Butler is already the greatest white ball cricketer from England side. I would go for it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you seem to be really proud of having Butler at number five for your side.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. That was just my way of saying that Klaasen and Butler, there's no competition. Butler, you go any day. All right. Now let's come to the lower middle order now.
Yeah, this is where I have my all rounders. And the first all rounder is someone who is a rarity in cricket these days. And that is Hardik Pandya. Very few players around the world right now who can give you pace, bowling option, and are a genuine batter. With Pandya, you never know whether he's a batting all rounder or a bowling all rounder because he can open the bowling for you as well as we have seen in the recent times, plus bowl those crucial overs for the team. And with the batting, we know what he brings to the table. So number six for me is Hardik Pandya. I don't think anyone comes close to this in world cricket right now. At some point of time, a few years back, maybe Ben Stokes could have been in that spot, but he has retired from ODI cricket, stopped bowling. So yeah, Hardik Pandya for me is a no-brainer, and he gives the balance that any team would envy.
I mean, in an ideal world, you could expect an Australian one like Cam Green or Boy Webster or Aaron Hardy, but none of them have the pedigree so far. I also was struggling with this one that who can compete with Hardik? So Omar Zai of Afghanistan came to my mind. He can bowl some medium pace. Marco Jansen could come in, but none of them have like the equivalence of batting, bowling, and just the experience and just a clutch player. So I think difficult to think of anyone else apart from Hardik.
Yeah, absolutely. And then number seven, again, an all rounder from India, this time a spinner. I go with Akshar Patel. It was a close shot between Akshar and Jadeja. I went with Akshar because I feel, given the recent form, Akshar slightly trumps Jadeja. We saw even in the 24 T20 World Cup that the Indian team used Akshar much higher up in the batting order and not Jadeja. So, given the batting form and also with the bowling fielding, I feel Akshar is someone who will be able to bring more value to my team. So I go with Akshar. Jadeja a close miss. And then number 8, I want another spinner in my team, so I go with one of the best spinners going around the world right now. I go with Rashid Khan from Afghanistan. He can also be a pretty handy batter down at number 8 for me. So, I mean, with the bowling skills, it's pretty much a no-brainer that I want to have him in my squad. And specifically when we are playing matches in UAE and Pakistan, the pitches might help the spinners a little bit. So Rashid Khan with his fast leg breaks and googlies, I go with him at number 8. So Pandya, Patel, Aksar Patel, and Rashid Khan are my 6, 7, 8. All of them all rounders and give me amazing bowling options and batting depth. What about you, SS?
Yeah, completely in tune with you in terms of the team combination that we wanted bowling all-rounders at this stage. And looking at how the team selections have been done, I think Hardik Pandya at 6 and what the kind of alternatives that we presented, I think this was one of the clearest shouts that we had. So Hardik at 6. 7 for me, yeah, Aksar, Jadeja, that was the toughest one. And if you asked me before the England series happened, I would have gone with Aksar for sure, and I wouldn't have even looked at stats, considering the form, considering the role that he will play, he will get to play, especially in UAE, the Champions Trophy. But I think I was impressed with Ravindra Jadeja for once in ODI cricket in the England series. Ravindra Jadeja in isolation doesn't pick as many wickets as I would actually want him to pick, especially in a two-man spin attack when you are playing anywhere apart from Asia, where you might even play one spin. I don't think, and that was the case when Ashwin Jadeja were moved on from UZ and the Kulcha experiment that happened because Ashwin Jadeja were not picking enough wickets in ODI cricket. But when you get the with Ashwin going away and you have the three-man spin attack, I think both Jadeja and Aksa will come into the fore. And because of the Jadeja's form that I saw in England ODIs, I had to revert to stats to give me a more unique picture. Now, Jadeja obviously has played close to 200 games and has picked like 226 wickets. Both Jadeja and Aksar, in terms of economy, are pretty much bang on 4.8. When it comes to average, 35 for Jadeja, 37 for Aksar. Not much to choose from. You might say that Jadeja is a bit better, but in terms if you counter the form, it's not much of a difference. The big difference comes in terms of batting averages. Of course, Jadeja averages around 33, while Aksar is averaging around 22. Maybe because he bats a bit lower down the order, hasn't played a bit of bigger innings. Strike rate Aksar is of course a little better. Just on the basis of if you need bigger innings to come in, even though Aksar has been experimented by India to come at number 5 to be the left and right thing, I still somehow favor Jaddu. I think he has got one big tournament left in him, and I think this could be that. He's shown that kind of form versus England as well. So this was like a pick between like you pick any of them, and I think you will get what you're looking for. I think I will pick Jaddu at 7 and not Aksar. And Aksar is so unfortunate that he will also miss out on my number 8 because I've got him with Santner. I've got a big soft spot for him. He showed that in the Tri-Series final, 10 overs. He picked 2 for 20. Imagine now in a new age of ODI game in which you are just giving away runs at two economy of two in a final. I also went and looked back at the scorecard of 2019 India New Zealand semi-final as well. He bowled a crucial spell, 10 overs, 3 for 34. He even bowled really well in a Dharamshala game in the World Cup of 2023. In the finals or in the semi-finals, when India scored 350, 360 runs, he gave at only 5 runs per over. I think he's a very canny cricketer. He showed in the Test series as well. He can just roll into Test cricket and do really well. And I think on those UAE pitches, he can be really handy. He bats pretty well as well. Has a strike rate of 92 and has a batting average of 27. So I think I will go with Santner at 8. And Aksar, like his entire career, he gets stumped by Jadeja somehow in bigger things, and now he's getting stumped by Santner in this team as well. He's so unlucky, and it feels almost awful and so bad that he misses out of this. But unfortunately, he does. So 6 for me is Pandya, 7 Jadeja, and 8 Santner.
Fair enough, SS. You gave your reasons for picking Jadeja over Aksar Patel. But I feel that is one of the most like-to-like comparisons that you have in world cricket going around right now. Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja, and specifically with Jadeja also learning how to swing the sword celebration that
Yeah.
Jadeja has, so it has become even more like-to-like. Mitch Santner, I got to give it to you. That's an interesting pick because Santner is someone who always performs well. We have seen that time and again, and for all the matches that you mentioned, I think he's a good pick. Depends majorly on the team combination that you're going for. But I don't think picking Santner is ever a bad decision. So good picks there. Now coming to my pace bowlers. So I go with two spinners and three pacers in my team. The first pacer that I wanted is someone who can open the bowling for me, can swing the ball, can bowl fast, and can also give me that variety. So I go with Mitch Stark. He's, as we keep discussing, an absolute phenom in the white ball format. So hard to look past Mitch Stark. The options that I had were Shaheen Shah, Freedy, and Naseem Shah. Both of them amazing bowlers from Pakistan would be playing in their home conditions. But I feel Mitch Stark just has that extra experience and that pedigree in this format that Shaheen Shah and Naseem Shah miss out on. And plus, Naseem Shah also misses out because he's a righty, and the other two pace bowlers that I have are also right arm pace bowlers. So Mitch Stark is my first pace bowling option. The second one that I have in my team is someone who has been a Mr. Dependable for South Africa, performs well across formats, whether it be T20Is or Test cricket or ODIs. He's one of the best all format bowlers going around in the world right now, and that is Kahiso Rabada, and can also be a pretty handy batter, as we saw the finish that he gave South Africa in that Test match against Pakistan. So uh, he is number 10 for me. And number 11 for me, I want a middle over enforcer, someone who bowls express pace. I had two options that I was looking at, and a third one that missed out very closely. The two options were Mark Wood, Harris Rauf, and the third one who missed out was Jofra Archer. I still feel Archer is not at his prime right now after the injury. And I was considering between Mark Wood and Harris Rauf, and I went ahead with Mark Wood. I just feel Harris Shroff had that huge peak during the 22 World Cup, 23, but after that he has tapered down a little. Has had some impactful performances here and there, but I still go ahead with Mark Wood. I think that's also a bit of personal bias that comes in. So that's my numbers 9, 10, 11: Mid Stark, Kahiso Rabada, and Mark Wood. What about you, SS?
Really interesting picks. I think this is where we differ in terms of how we look at team combination as well, because you have gone with three fast bowlers, and but they've got good variety. You've got a fast bowling enforcer, you've got a lefty and a righty as well, experience all around the world. So those are really good picks. Uh, I have gone with a third spinner because I do feel that what India is doing in the UAE conditions, I think also in Pakistan, I think that could work a lot. You can play three spinners there. So you already picked him, and I'm going to pick him at number nine. Just elongates my batting as well. Rashid Khan, amazing statistics. I know he has bowled a lot against the so-called associate countries as well, but still uh, close to 200 wickets, I think, and has an average below 20. He's just amazing. An economy of 4.5 or 4.2. So you can't look past him, and he can always give you good runs if you want an acceleration at the end. So Rashid Khan at number nine. So that means that I'm going only with two pacers. One of them is common to you, Mitchell Stark, left arm pacer, 225 wickets, World Cup winner, always comes big in ODI World Cups, and I think in Champions Trophy. I think he's in good form as well in general. He's 35, but I think he looks fit. He's the only fit guy in Australian team in terms of bowling, and I think he will have a big role to play for them as well, and in my team as well. So mid Stark, just on his overall record, overall pedigree, and the kind of skills he brings, I think all conditions, I think he can do very well. So he is my number 10. And my second fast bowler, because we already have Hardik as a third pacer. So my second pacer, I had to pick somebody from Pakistan. Shaheen Shah, Afridi, Stark. I be clear that I would want to pick Stark. Go with Naseem Shah. He hasn't played a lot of games actually in ODI cricket, around 25 games or something. But excellent average of 22, strike rate of 26. So every 5 overs he picks a wicket. Similar economy as Rabada, but has better strike rate and better average. And I think he's, of course, we always say he's a star of the future. He will go on to play many, many games for Pakistan, win them a lot of games. He bowled really well in Australia as well, even though Haris Rauf did as well. But I think Naseeb Shah, first big event happening in home country, I think he's going to be a big guy to on which Pakistan will bet. And he can also make some quick runs as well. I saw in the final as well, he can play like 15, 20 runs. One of the big names that we both didn't talk about, but we should talk about because it's a legend great of ODI format, in fact, of cricket in itself, Mohammad Shami. For me, the only thing was that we don't know how fit he is. The more he bowls, he will
Absolutely.
get better. By the time, if this tournament was happening maybe in April or May, and he would have had two or more series, he would be just walking. He is just incredible. One day World Cup record, an average of 13, has picked up 50 plus wickets there. Just can't deny him. So thought to just mention him, but he just doesn't make my team just because of the reason that I don't think he's like 100% there.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the exact reason why I skipped Mohammad Shami as well. In fact, in one of my earlier versions of the team, he was my first pacer ahead of Kahiso Rabada. But for very much the reasons that you mentioned, he misses out in my team as well. But an interesting fact is, I was just reading and it kind of blew my mind up. In the last decade or so, Mohammad Shami has just missed one ICC tournament for India, which was the 24 World Cup, and that is the one tournament that we won.
That's just crazy. That's just crazy. Are we suggesting that India, being the favorites, will not win Champions Trophy? Maybe, maybe not. But we'll see. But okay, we got our 11s out. Let's talk about our 12th man, our wicket keeper, as well as our coach.
Yeah, so for me, the 12th man is Naseem Shah, a class bowler, as you mentioned and described. And I always like to have backups for my pace bowlers just in case one of them gets injured, and you need to have a backup for them. So Naseem Shah is my 12th man. My wicket keeper, so I have a few options. I have Klassen, I have Phil Salt. I can have either of them a keep for me. I mean, honestly, both of them are good keepers, good enough keepers. So, I mean, for starters, I can go with Klassen because Phil Salt can open the batting. So, just workload management wise, Klassen can keep for me. And also, my captain and vice captain. Captain is Rohit Sharma. I like the template that he set for the Indian team and actually made Indian squad one of the best in ODIs in the recent times. So, I have that bias and go with Rohit Sharma as my captain. Vice captain, I was looking at a few other players who have that leadership quality in them. Virat Kohli passed his captaincy days, so not going there. I have Travis Head as one option. I have Hardik Pandya as another option. Joss Butler as another option, and Rashid Khan as another option. Initially, okay, so Joss Butler is actually not in my team, so he's not an option. But Travis Head is one of the good options that I have, and I feel Travis Head can be an X factor for any team. So I want to have more of leadership qualities coming in from Travis Head, and so I go with Travis Head as my vice captain. And for coach, I go with the English coach, Brendan McCullum. I am very fond of the brand of cricket that he plays, and that's the brand of, or rather, coaches, and that's the brand that I want to have this team go with. So, McCullum as my coach. What about you, SS? Your 12th man, wicketkeeper, captain, vice captain, and coach.
I could sense the jealousy and the envy you had that I picked Joss Butler and you just squeezed him
Trying to like sneak him in
quite. That
as
was,
my vice captain.
yeah, that was quite subtle. So for me, the wicket keeper, I only have Joss Butler in my team that can keep, even though he doesn't keep for England. But I think in this short format, he can. It's like 5 games, so I think he can do the wicket keeping. Captain, I looked at a couple of options, but I'm going with Santner. My all eggs are in Santner basket now. If he doesn't do well, he will not only go out, but then uh, he will need to give his captaincy to my vice captain, who is Shubman Gill. I think he has got leadership qualities. He's done that at IPL level as well now. So, and he's being groomed as well. So, those are my captain, vice captain, wicketkeeper. My 12th man is going to be Heinrich Klaasen. I am not worried about my three fast bowlers because I count Hardik as one. And I think, yeah, if Butler doesn't want to keep, then Klaasen can come in. Could be a replacement as well. Coach, A bogey pick. I'm looking at someone who has done some wonderful things for Sri Lankan cricket. Won an ODI series against India as well. Sanat Jayasuriya, he's an all-time great. He has won a Champions Trophy as well. He is well respected in Sri Lankan camp. They won the 2-0 against Australia as well. I think Sanat Jayasuriya might know a bit about playing in Pakistan. So Sanat Jayasuriya for me is my coach.
That's an interesting pick. What interests me the most is your choice of coach, Sanat Jasuri. I absolutely love him as a player. What he brought to the table, and we have also seen
Loved
how
and
he has
feared.
turned loved and feared, absolutely. And we've also seen what he has done with Sri Lankan cricket in the short time that he has been the head coach. Some
Yeah.
amazing wins that Sri Lanka has had. So a good pick, SS. So now
All right.
just
Let's do the summary then.
Yeah, absolutely. So I will go first. I have Rohit Sharma and Phil Salt as my openers. Virat Kohli at number three. Travis Head at four. Klassen at five. Then I have my all-rounders: Hardik Pandya, Akshar Patel, and Rashid Khan. Then I have my pace bowlers: Mitch Stark. I have Kahiso Rabada at 10 and Mark Wood at 11. My captain is Rohit Sharma. The vice captain is Travis Head. 12th man is Naseem Shah and coach is Brendan McCullum. Over to you, SS.
Shubman Gill and Travis Head open for me, with Gill also being my vice captain. Virat Kohli at three, Shreyas Iyer at four, Joss Butler at five, also my wicketkeeper. Hardik Pandya at six, Ravindra Jadeja at seven. Very bogey pick of Mitchell Santer as the captain and my second left arm spinner at number eight. Sorry, Aksar. Rashid Khan at nine, Mitchell Stark at 10, and Naseem Shah at 11. Heinrich Klaassen as my 12th man, and coach is the Sri Lankan great Sanat Jayasuriya. So there you have it, guys. Those were our combined 11 from all the squads that are out for Champions Trophy 2025. We will be back with some more Champions Trophy content, I'm pretty sure, as the tournament kicks off later this week. And I'm sure we will also be back with the mini pod, the hot takes one, in which we continue to go in deeper into the ODI records. So now we are also publishing our episodes on YouTube alongside Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So do check us out there and give us your feedback. And then we see you next week. Till then, take care and enjoy cricket.